So now that we have a working rig, we can save that and reuse it over and over again. And that is the beauty of rigging using abstraction, i.e. using locator items or null objects, instead of just applying direction constraints directly to the geometry in our scene. So what we'll do is, first of all, I like to have things nice and buttoned down, nice and clean before I save them out, because when I reuse it over and over, I want the cleanest possible thing to come in. So in my turntable item properties, let's make sure that its position and rotation are all zeroed out. We'll select the target and make sure that its position is set to, let's see, I want X to be 0. That looks good. And then Y and Z will both be 500 millimeters. So it's nice and clean and perfect. Now we can take these things and add them to our assembly. Let's go to Layout, Palettes, Groups, New Group. We'll call this ramprigII. Type is Assembly, and Mode is Empty. Hit OK. Expand that out. We have no items in this. Now here's a really important point. When I add these items, I'm not just going to add the locators themselves. I'm also going to make sure to select both the direction constraint and its matrix channel effect. Drag those in, and that way, when we expand these, you'll see we have everything in this assembly. It's really important that you make sure that every channel that you need ends up in the assembly. Okay? Let's close this up. Go over to our assemblies in the setup area. Right-click that ramprigII assembly. Save assembly. I have a folder where I save assemblies like this one. And I'm going to save it as ramprigI LXP. Hit Save. Now I have an assembly that I can use anytime I want. Let's create a new document. I'll go back to my Layout tab. And here in my Items tab, I've added my Moto Assets folder for my custom assets. And inside that, I have an Assemblies folder. And right over here, this is my ramprigI assembly. If I double-click that, suddenly I have a ramp rig ready to use, so I can just add in geometry and make use of it. So let's do that. I'm going to go to my meshes. Let's drop in a ramp. Let's drop in a sphere. And we already have a camera in the scene, so we're ready to go. Let's get this set up. We'll go to our Setup tab. And what we're going to do is let's expand this ramprigI group, and we'll expand our ramp group. I'll take the ramp itself, Control-click on the turntable locator, okay, in that order, starting with the ramp, then the turntable. Come over here in Commands. We'll go down to our Modifiers tab, and then down here at the bottom, let's bring that up. Under the Dynamic Parenting group, we're going to say Add Parent. Click on that, and now this ramp is actually a child of this turntable. Now, I didn't drag this up and make it a child of the turntable manually. No. Instead, we're using a dynamic parent. And now, if I move the target locator, you're going to see the ramp rotate. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. We can go up and down and nothing happens. But if we go left and right, the ramp rotates. So now, we just have to make this move with the camera, right? So let's take the target, Control-click the camera, and click Add Parent. So now the target is a child of the camera, and as the camera moves, so the target moves. First of all, though, when we made it a child, let's go to the target, say Properties, and make sure that its position is all zeroed out. That way, our target is right there on top of our camera. You can see it right there now, inside of our camera, 0, 0, 0. So now if we move the camera, you can see that we rotate the ramp. Perfect. So watch this. I'll look through the camera, zoom in a little bit on our product, and check this out. As I rotate around, that ramp is going to move so that it's always facing us. Now, it can be a little bit, let's see, rotate, there we go. If I rotate around, you're going to see that edge, showing up on the ramp. Snap, but then it rotates back around. It's not real time, but it does happen. As soon as we rotate, it stays facing. If we go back in the perspective mode, you'll see that as we move this around, it actually is moving in real time. It's just not showing up when we look through the camera. So that is how we do rigging, folks. We abstract the turntable and target locators from the ramp and the camera. And the reason for that is going to become clear in the next video, where I'm going to show you how not to do this.